generally, there normally is not a class in here beforehand, so we'll get started normally right at 8 o'clock. First thing you're going to do normally is have a quiz right at 8 o'clock, okay? If I'm here, you guys should be here. That's kind of how I play it. Yeah.
You lock the door.
I don't lock the door, but if you come in and they've already started a quiz, you don't get to start it. Okay? So make sure you're here on time. Next week, good news for you, there's no class. So you have Monday morning off next week. Okay? For those of you who don't know, that is my daughter. Figured I always show people pictures, but some people don't get to see her, so there's my one and only. All right. I just put this stuff up on Canvas this morning, right before we started, so you will be able to see it on there. You guys missed pertinent information already.
Tell them.
You tell them. Adria's going to tell you. What did you miss?
Everything important. We have a quiz every day at 8 o'clock.
Every session we will have a quiz at 8 o'clock. If you walk in and the quiz has already started, you don't get to take it. Okay? Won't happen again? Okay. That's what I like to hear. All right. Next week, no class. That was the other good news. Okay. Syllabus is posted. We've got quizzes just about every week. There might be one time where we decide to do something else, or a couple of times where we decide to do something else. I will always let you guys know, okay? So next time we meet, which will be in 2 weeks, you will have a quiz based off of today's lecture, okay? They are multiple choice. I used to do them where you had to fill in the blank or answer, short answer kind of thing, but I've decided to change it. It's nutrition, it's 2 units, okay? It's still important, it's good information, but I understand that it's 2 units. Okay? All right, so your quizzes will be 20% of your class. You're going to have a dietary analysis where you're going to have to do a 3-day diary based off of yourself. Normally I would say, okay, I want you to partner up with somebody. It just gets to be too complicated. And I already know you guys are like, whatever, I'm just going to budget. So you're going to do it on your own, okay? All right. That's going to be 20 points, or 20%. Your homework, there is some homework, and normally it's going to be stuff that I give you time in here to do. Instead of having a quiz, I'll give you an assignment. Pretty basic stuff, nothing too terribly, nothing that's going to take too much time, okay? There is a group research presentation, that's 20%. Your attendance is 4%. And normally that's going to be based off of your quizzes, they're going to be your attendance. So if you're here and you're on time, and I grab that, if I see that you walk in late, I'll write your name down just so that I know you are here. Today, obviously, the paper's going around somewhere to sign your name up so I know who's here. And then your end of course eval, 1%, and then your final exam is going to be 20% on ExamSoft. Your quizzes are just going to be paper, okay? I'm not a fan of ExamSoft. Even though you guys are, right? Yeah? No?
I like paper.
You like paper? I like paper. I like to touch the things, so. All right. This is the book that it says in your syllabus is required because you have to have a required book. However,
PowerPoints.
yes, don't just go by the PowerPoints. Everything you need to know are going to be straight in whatever I give you, okay? I wouldn't spend the money on the book unless you want it. Then you can, okay? But all the information you're going to need is going to come straight from the PowerPoints. I take my quiz questions and the final exam questions straight from what I deliver to you, okay? So if you study the PowerPoints, the notes that are on the PowerPoints, everything that's in there, notes that you might take, you'll be totally fine, okay? All right. You guys can kind of read through most of this. I have the schedule up. We're already modifying it today because I had it in there that we were going to do 2 because we were going to miss next week, but change that. We're only going to do 1 today. It's the first day. Okay? Any questions on that? And you guys know it's pretty easy to get me if you need me for anything. I'm here obviously in class Monday morning. And then sometimes I stick around for a little while afterwards. And then I'll be here on clinic on Monday afternoons, Wednesday afternoon, Thursday afternoon, and Friday morning on clinic with you guys. Okay? All right. Tuesday is the only day I'm not here. All right, any questions so far? No? You guys can review through the syllabus. If you have any other questions, let me know. Here is one of the assignments that you will have, and this is all on Canvas, like I said. So you have a 3-day diary template, and there is an instruction page that I will pull up as well. Here's the instructions. So you need to record the foods that you eat and anything you drink for 2 weekdays and 1 day on the weekend. Okay? And it doesn't have to be consecutive. It could be like 2 days, like you can start tomorrow if you want. And then do 1 day on the weekend. Okay? You can do it whenever you want. It's going to be due in about 6 weeks or so. I'll put all that information up later. But if you want to start it now, you can. I don't want you to alter how you eat just because you're doing this. And you want to say, oh, I ate really good today, I'm going to write this down. Do it on a regular day when you go and stop at some fast food place and walk down whatever you eat. And I want details. If you had a burger, I don't want you just to write a burger. I want to have a bun, a full bun, a wheat bun, white bun, whatever it was. Ketchup, mustard, the super special sauce from In-N-Out, whatever. I want everything detailed into whatever you have. If you have a casserole, put in everything that was on it, okay? We want all the details written down on this. Let's see. Put down anything that you drank, including water. And then on the meal plan, I want you to put down whether or not you have any, the meal or whatever you ate has any sugar in it. Okay? So right here you can put a check mark whether or not it contains sugar, or you can say yes or no if it contains sugar. And then put down the reason that you're eating. Are you eating it because it's mealtime and you're hungry? Are you eating it because you're bored? Are you eating it because you're emotional? Put down the reason while you're doing it. Okay? And it's going to give you a good insight to how things are. Okay? When you're done with it, then you go ahead and turn it into me. Pretty basic, pretty simple, 20% of your grade. Right? Okay. Any questions on that? No. And I'll let you know when that's due. We don't have it due yet. Okay. The next thing is we have this research presentations. So what I want you guys to do is you're going to pair up into groups. I've got different topics. We could do this 2 different ways. You can choose your own groups, or I can choose the groups for you. Which do you prefer? Pick your own groups?
Yeah.
Pick your own? Okay. It's not a very difficult presentation. So what you're going to do is pick one of these topics. Everybody's going to do something a little different for each group. And you're going to do a little research on it. You're going to do a presentation about 10-15 minutes long, teaching us about what you learned doing your research. Okay? So if you choose oil pulling, it's going to be based off of the information that you learned, whether it's good, it's bad, or kind of neutral. What kind of oil is best. Just kind of teach us what you learned about whatever that topic was. Okay? Any questions on that? No? Yes. Groups can be, well, I've got all these different topics. If you have different topics that are better than that or that you want to do instead, nutrition, dental related, I'm open to it. So groups can be probably no more than 5. Okay? 2, 3, 4, doesn't matter to me, but no more than 5. Okay? And everybody has to present. If you don't present, then you don't get graded. Okay? All right. So by the end of today, I'm going to ask you guys again at the end what group or who the leader of the group is going to be. I'll put your name down and for whatever topic you guys are going to want. Okay? And then we'll go from there. All right. So like I said, this is posted already on Canvas. You can kind of read through, see what you think you might want to do. I'll give you some time to talk to your group, form a group, and then you guys can let me know what you want to do. Okay? All right. Any questions? Okay, moving right along.
Daughter.
Yes, that's my daughter.
I know I'm looking for profit.
You what?
I know I'm looking for profit. Playing this.
All right.
Eating 101.
Eating 101. This is where we're going to start, at the very beginning. Okay? So this class is just your basic information for nutrition. You'll receive information from this class that you need for boards, and then there's going to be a little bit of extraneous stuff. Okay? For those of you that don't know, I got my master's in nutrition and functional medicine, so that's how this is related to me. Okay? So I'm pretty passionate about nutrition and about random little odd things that you'll get from me. Sometimes I might make a comment like, why did you do that? Or why are you doing this? Or I'll give you some kind of weird stuff as we go along. You'll get it. All right, so here are the objectives. You guys can read through the objectives each week. I'm not going to go through them all, okay? So this all started now. We're in the 21st century, and there's been so many changes in the food industry. We used to have all kinds of different things where the moms or the grandmas or whoever would stay at home all day and they would spend hours in the kitchen cooking their meals, okay? How many of you or your parents spend hours cooking meals every day? You guys do or your parents do? Your parents do?
Yes.
Okay, so you do?
Yeah, I don't know yet, so I spent hours or something.
Okay, well, how many parents or yourselves spend hours not doing that, not trying to figure out what to do, but actually cooking and preparing the meal? So there's still a handful of you. That's a rare thing now, okay? Most families now spend their meals on the road because they're transitioning their kids from picking up from school to go to all kinds of different activities or whatever they've got going on. It's always something, so all the meals are spent on the road, in the car. Not all, a lot of times, okay? Parents don't have time to make the lunch, so they'll just send their kids with snacks. Or they'll just say, go ahead and eat at school, or whatever it is. There's all kinds of different changes. So there's also TV dinners, which makes it so easy. You can just go to the store, you can pick up your packaged food, stick it in the microwave, done in 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, depending what it is. How many of you read the labels on the TV dinners? How many of you eat TV dinners? Or those quick meals? On a regular basis? No? Just now and again? Okay. Next time you do it when you're at the store, read the labels. Check the sodium level on those. Okay? Yes. Every single one of those, I don't think there's one that has a low sodium. If there is, let me know. Because I'm open to finding
Why is
out.
that? Or like
Why is that?
why do they,
It
they have
helps
specifically?
helps keep it longer. So yeah, preservatives in it. Yep. And there's all kinds of chemicals and crap in it too. Just saying. Okay. So soda consumption has doubled in the last 40 years, and your sugar consumption has gone from 50 grams a day to 126 grams per day. We have the highest level of sugar consumption in the entire world. The U.S. does. Okay. We eat fast food 150 times a year, and the average meal contains about 1,200 calories. Do you know how many calories we should eat in one day? Roughly?
2,000 to 2,500.
Roughly 2,000 to 2,500 calories a day. And one meal, one fast food meal, contains approximately 1,200 calories. So you're getting almost half of what you already need for the day. So if you stop at McDonald's on the way here, you got whatever they have there, I don't even know back there, with a big old coffee with a bunch of sugar and cream in it, there's half your calories for the day already. And it's not even 9 o'clock. It's not even 8:30. Okay? So just be aware. Just be cautious. So when I was growing up, fast food was just starting to come out. Okay? It was a long time ago. Just starting to get out there. So when we lived in Canada, there was one fast food place. Okay? But back in Minnesota, we had a few different ones. Now, this is kind of what it looks like. You drive down just about any main street and you see all kinds of different ones and you can stop wherever you want. a treat for us when we were little is we could get our McDonald's from, or our French fries from McDonald's, and then we can get a shake from some other place, and then a burger from one other place if we didn't want it all at one. That was our big treat. Nowadays, you get what you get, right? You go to one. That was our big treat, though. So, not all change is good. So, even though there's been all those changes, and it makes it more convenient, it's not always good because there's an increase in obesity. We're more sedentary because what do we do all day? We sit all day in the classroom.
In front of
You sit all
computer.
day on clinic. Okay? You sit when you're driving home. You get home, you sit and you study, right? You sit and relax and watch TV, or you sit on your computer, not on your computer, but sit and look at your computer. Sit and look at your phones. And not years ago, 20, 30 years ago, kids were always out running around, playing in the streets and stuff, and that doesn't happen as much anymore. So it's kind of sad to see what's happening. We eat more of our meals on the run, like I said before. We also spend more time at work than we used to, and there is way more stress in today's world than there was 20, 30, 40 years ago. Okay? There's also an increase in portion sizes. So back in the day, and I got some pictures for you, burgers used to be this big, and now they're this big. I've got information on that coming up here so that you guys can see. All right, so what we choose to eat and put into our bodies is nutrition. So that is the actual definition. Nutrition is what we choose to eat and put in our bodies. It is better to eat your whole foods, your fruits, your vegetables. Make sure that it contains vitamins, minerals, or that you're supplementing with your vitamins and minerals, and drink plenty of water throughout the day. Nutrients are the chemical substances that provide the body with the energy and everything else that it needs to function on a daily basis. Okay? So you want to make sure that most of your plate is full of fruits and vegetables. Okay? How many of you are vegetarians? That's enough. If you're so we only have 2 vegetarians in here? 3? 4? 4 vegetarians?
Chicken.
No. Vegetarian.
Do you count eggs?
Not eggs?
Do you count eggs? As vegetarian?
No. Do you eat meat? Do you eat meat?
Yeah, I do. I'm just saying to clarify.
Oh, no. Just meat in general. I want to know if you eat meat. Not vegan.
I eat a lot of meat.
Eat a lot of meat. You're not a vegetarian.
The opposite.
Yeah, actually, it's the opposite. All right. So you are what you eat. 96% of the human body is made up of oxygen, carbon, nitrogen, and hydrogen. The other 4% is all the other substances that are on the periodic table. These elements also make up your major nutrients that are found in your food. So in your carbs, your proteins, your water, your vitamins, and your minerals, okay? And your fats. So most foods contain all 6 of those, but it is the proportions that determines whether a food is a carb or a protein or lipid or whatever else, okay? Too much of any kind of those foods will kind of imbalance everything else. So if you eat too many carbs, you're not going to get enough protein. If you eat too much protein, you're not going to get enough carbs or fats or what have you. And you want to make sure, obviously, you limit your sweets so that you can help maintain a healthier body. So the 6 major nutrients, like I just stated, are carbs, protein, lipids, water, vitamins, and minerals. Your vitamins and your minerals are your micronutrients. Your carbs, protein, lipids, and water are your macronutrients. Okay? And they all contain carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and then your proteins also contain nitrogen, but everything else pretty much has all that. Meat is rich in protein, so anytime we think of protein, we always just think of meat, right? For those of you that aren't vegetarian, what do you think of when you think of protein?
Soy.
Tofu, soy, beans, huh? Protein shake. Your plant-based protein. That works too. Anytime we think of a carb, we think bread,
Pasta.
rice, pasta, things like that. High fat, butter, cream. What else? Lard, oil, bacon. That would be a protein. All right? So eating too much or too little, like I said, it squeezes out some of the other foods. So you're eating too many carbs if your breakfast or your lunch is a big old bowl of pasta, and you're going to be so full sometimes for the rest of the day, right? Except for you. You have a huge bowl of pasta with all this tomato sauce on it, or your Alfredo sauce, or whatever it is, and it just just makes you so full. It's so sick. You can't even eat anything else the rest of the day. You just squeeze out all the other nutrients. So now you're not going to be able to eat any protein. You're not going to get everything else that you need for that day. Oops. All right. Fast foods also decrease the consumption of more wholesome foods. So the more fast food you eat, the less time that you have for your good wholesome foods, and the less that you're going to want or that you're going to consume of your fruits and your vegetables and all the good stuff, right? Then the disease process is going to take over because you're eating all this bad stuff. You're not getting all the nutrients that you need, everything that's healthy. Disease is going to start to take over. And with that, obesity, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and a whole list of other things, right? Yeah. So portion sizes, as I stated, have grown in the U.S. Fast food servings are 4 times the size that they were back in 1950. Anytime you go in to get fast food, they always say, do you want to power up or do you want to size up? And everybody thinks, oh, well, how much extra is that? It's not about the cost. It's about how much more food you're getting. And it's already bad food to begin with, and now you're powering up, and you're getting twice as much food as you already were. So it's twice as bad. So your fast food servings are 4 times the size they were, but you equate a bigger size with a bigger value, which just makes it worse, okay? We are more sedentary, so portion distortion has a direct effect on your obesity incidence, and it increases your chances or your risk for many more diseases, okay? So here's what it used to look like. Back in the day, this was the 1 serving of popcorn, and that's still pretty big, but 275 calories, but this is what you're given. Okay? Are you going to eat that whole bucket? It's in front of you, why not? Right? Just like this burger here. 540 calories just in the burger. It's going to take you almost 2 hours of walking to get rid of those calories that you just consumed. Not to mention the effects it's going to have on your health once you've already eaten it. Okay? Once in a while, everybody needs to enjoy it. But on a regular basis, it's just not healthy. Okay? Here are 2 websites that also have more examples of portion control. They've got different sizes of coffee, what it used to be and what it is now, how many calories they contain, and what it's going to take for you to, what kind of exercise it's going to take for you to wear those extra calories off. It shows you different sizes, how bagels used to be really tiny and now they're ginormous. So it's got all kinds of different examples. If you guys want to look at that, you can on your time, okay? You can go to choosemyplate.gov, and they've got all kinds of information, nutrition related, that give you different kind of meals and different ideas and information all about nutrition. So in general, what they're saying here is that vegetables should cover most of your plate. They should be your biggest portion of food on your plate. And if you realize that you're consuming too much food and using a large plate, go to a smaller plate. Okay? And then you can fill your plate with all kinds of vegetables, fruits, grains, and a smaller portion of protein. Okay? So if you want to follow my plate guidelines, make sure you eat a variety of foods from every category. Choose 3 rich sources of calcium, those of good protein. Which would be a good source of protein? A healthier source of protein? Give me some ideas.
Fish.
Greek yogurt.
Yogurt, as long as it's plain. If you get the yogurt that already has fruit in it, there's tons of sugar in that. What'd you say, Jane? Fish? Turkey. Okay? As long as it's leaner cuts. Okay? Eat at least 5 servings of fruits and vegetables every day. How many of you eat 5 servings of vegetables a day? I need you do. Anybody else?
How big is
You
a
guys
serving?
have work to
How big
do.
is a serving?
Depends on which vegetable it is. A cup, generally.
I mean, I eat a whole tray of blueberries.
A whole tray, what size tray? The big one or the little one? The little one? Probably a couple. I think the blueberries is a quarter of a cup. So it's probably about a cup right there. So that's 4 servings of fruit. But what about vegetables?
Oh, I could eat like a whole stalk of celery, peanut butter,
But do you? You could, but do you?
but not regularly.
Okay.
Like that's
Alright, so when you eat grains, you want to make sure that you get them from a good source and that they're full of fiber. You want to make sure you include vegetable fat and omega-3 fatty acids in your diet every day, okay? So a little bit of oil. Your extra virgin olive oil is really good for you. Avocado oil. I always get too is really good for you. You can cook with it. You can pour it on your salad. You can do it however it is. Make sure that you're drinking plenty of water and exercise every single day. How many of you park in X lot? That's not enough exercise, but it's a good start. I counted.
5-minute walk.
All right. So the consumption norm should be the proper food unit to eat. So what this means is that the unit should not be this big, it should be this big, okay? So whatever is put in front of you is not necessarily what you should eat, and that is not the norm. People assume that whatever the portion size is that's put in front of them, they need to eat it all. Growing up, how many of you were saying, eat everything that's on your plate? How many parents said that? That's where this comes from, okay? Because our parents used to tell us, you need to eat everything on your plate, and you had this big old thing, especially a big old pile of broccoli, like peas, not happening, Brussels sprouts, hated all that stuff. But it was always eat everything that's on your plate, and that's where that notion comes from now. So you want to opt for a smaller portion versus a big one. Choose water or tea that has unsweetened over soda. Eat half of your meal and then save the other half for later. And make sure you're not distracted while you're eating. Make sure you're not watching TV or playing on your phone or working or doing other things, because you tend to eat more when you're distracted than you do when you just focus on your meal. Okay? So eat slowly and look around you and spend the time to enjoy your food. But I know we're always in a rush, right? We've got something else to do. We have 20 minutes. We got to hurry up and just shovel it in. And it takes you 10 minutes to make it, right? Except for Daniel, because you got to figure out what he's going to make first. Okay? So make sure you slow down. Take your time. Enjoy your food. That you spend so much time trying to figure out what to do. All right. So here are just a small example of some of the diseases that are associated with poor nutrition. As I said, diabetes is one of them. And if you already have, or your patient or somebody you know already has a diagnosis of pre-diabetes, do you know what that means?
they have diabetes.
The pancreas is already hurting, and you've already caused damage to it. Yep. And now you need to do serious repair if you can. So you're headed towards that way of getting diabetes, whether you're pre-diabetes or not, unless you can fix it, reverse it. All right. So the food choices need to be nutritious with just a small and occasional indulgence here and there. So you've got cardiovascular disease, heart disease, hypertension, dental caries is huge with poor nutrition. We know that. We've seen that. We've all seen that, right? At least pictures, if not real life. Obesity is obviously associated with poor nutrition. Cancer, such as colon cancer, breast cancer, and reproductive cancer. Here's some food for thought, random, just totally off the road. So if you've got, let's say somebody's got rectal cancer, somebody's got breast cancer, somebody's got brain cancer. What are the treatments for cancer? What are the treatments that you know of for cancer?
Radiation.
Radiation, chemotherapy, surgery. Why are there only 3 for all those different types of cancer?
That's all we.
Anybody ever think about that? You get 3 options when you have cancer.
I'd like to.
Radiation, what's the 4th?
Don't.
Or don't do anything. Right. Okay, so you have 4 options. Don't do anything. Chemotherapy, radiation, or surgery. And do you think those are going to work for all different types of cancer? No. Just food for thought. Think about it. That's all. I got you thinking, huh?
I have a question.
Yes.
So I've heard of some people that are trying to fight cancer, like sugar.
Yes.
Is it also like doctor?
It depends on the type of cancer. If you do some research on it, you'll see that chemotherapy doesn't work for some people with breast cancer. So when you go through and you start doing some of your own research, foods can help. If you completely change your diet, and I mean, you have to be super strict upon it. There are people that have been cured of different diseases. Cancer is one of them. Yeah. But I'm not going to tell you, if you have cancer, stop everything you do. I'm not a doctor. But if you do some research for yourself, and it's yourself, I would highly, highly recommend that you guys do research before you just go ahead and jump in and do something. If you know somebody or you yourself have it. Because there are other alternatives. That's all I'm saying. Okay. So, food habits could be physiologic, cultural, traditional, emotional, or social. So a lot of times what we crave is what our bodies need, okay? If you crave something on an emotional level, it will remain like that. That craving will still be there until that emotion passes or until you satisfy that craving. If your craving is physiologic, it means that your hormones are fluctuating. And your body's going to tell you what it needs based on the craving. So then there's also cultural habits. How many of you have a cultural habit that you do on a regular basis? Like, what do you do?
I drink coffee.
You drink coffee? That's a cultural thing?
Yeah.
Family gatherings.
Family gatherings on a regular basis.
Last night, everyone.
Last night? Okay. I know in the Italian family, they always do, or they would always do a big Sunday dinner and all the family would be there. Yes? Kimchi? Every week? The whole family gathers together and eat it? Or just in general? Every day? Okay, there you go. All right. And then traditional. There's also a traditional thing, like for Christmas or Thanksgiving. What do we do for Thanksgiving?
Turkey.
Turkey. Generally, we have turkey. Right. It's just a normal kind of thing. Everybody for Christmas kind of has their own traditional thing. Turkey, ham is kind of the norm. When I was married, our thing was lasagna. We would have a lasagna for Christmas. That was our regular thing. So social eating can be a great thing as long as it's a variety of healthy choices. You get to do it with your friends, which is really okay. So food cravings are the body's innate wisdom telling you what you're craving, what you need most of the time, some of the time, okay? Most people have cravings. What's an example of people that have cravings? Pregnant people. Pregnant people have cravings. You have a craving?
For sweets, yeah.
For sweets?
I'm on savory.
So we're going to get to that. It's going to tell you what you need when you crave sweet stuff. Is it chocolate or is it just sweets in general?
I have that sweet tooth.
You have that sweet tooth? Okay. All right. Sometimes it can be emotional. The most craved food, if you see here, the most craved food is chocolate. So you're not out of the norm. So you just want to make sure that your craving doesn't become a habit. So if you give into that craving every single day, say, oh, I'm craving ice cream. Then the next day, oh, I'm craving ice cream. Now it's going to become a habit, and you're going to end up eating it every single day instead of just feeding on, feeding on that craving. All right. So the body is telling us you need a mood adjustment, depending on what your food is. It could be that your blood sugar is low, and you need to eat something to some kind of carb to curb that. or if you're lacking a specific nutrient, could be a certain different type of food, you may have an emotional imbalance. So foods that are high in fat generally are chosen as comfort foods, and once you fulfill that craving, then that craving is going to disappear. So ways that you can minimize your cravings are to get up and move. So you can go for a walk, go exercise, go hang out with your friends and play soccer or play volleyball or do whatever it is that you do. Eat some complex carbs because it helps make you feel full longer and it helps maintain a balanced blood sugar. Eat frequent, small, nutritious meals throughout the day. This is good nutritionally for your teeth. This is bad because you don't want to snack throughout the day, right? Because then it increases your chances of getting a cavity or several. All right, give in and eat a modest amount of food that is craved so that you don't have that craving and eat everything else. How many of you do that? You have a craving for something and you eat everything else except that, and then you still want it. I do that. Anybody else do that? All right, so here now we're going to talk about the digestive process. These are the organs within the GI tract that supply the body with nutrients and water. It starts here in your esophagus. These are all of the hollow organs, okay? So you've got 5 hollow organs within your body. It is the esophagus, the stomach, the small intestine, the large intestine, and the colon, okay? These are all hollow, and these ones all your solid organs, your pancreas, your liver, and your gallbladder. These organs, as well as the small intestine, secrete enzymes that help reduce the food to micronutrients so that it can be digested within your body, okay? So as food goes into your mouth, is that the way you're going to use it? No. You're not going to use a burger as a burger. It's going to break down into all the nutrients that you need, dispersed throughout your body wherever you need it, right? Okay. So, low blood sugar and smell can stimulate your desire for food. How many times do you walk down a street or you're driving through somewhere, walking through the mall, smell of barbecue? Ooh, that smells good. Right? Kind of triggers that. And then you get hungry, even though you just ate. Okay?
Yes.
Your inactive digestive organs come alive and the enzymes start to get secreted and your mouth starts to get all full of saliva. You start to drool. Hungry. Is that what happened to you?
Yeah, you can smell it in and out.
You can smell in and out? As long as the wind's blowing the right way. Alright. So thinking about food awakens your digestive system, but once the food or drink has been consumed, that is not the form that it's going to be used in the body. Okay? It's got to be broken down through a complex process to be used for nourishing your body. So you have a voluntary and involuntary body systems. Obviously, as it goes into your mouth, you chew it voluntarily. Sometimes your mom makes you or dad, and it's involuntary, but you still chew it. Okay? Then it continues to the small intestines, where most of the absorption takes place, and it ends in the large intestines where the leftovers are excreted. So when we chew our food, it is 200 pounds of mashing that we use. Imagine that. If you have 200 pounds, you know what a dog has? More than that. Okay? So the enzyme, everybody knows about amylase, right? You guys should know about that, right? Yes? Is it still too early? Kind of. Okay. Amylase is the enzyme that's secreted in your mouth, okay? So then it's swallowed and it's sent down to the esophagus, which is a hollow or solid organ.
Hello.
Hello, how are you? Okay, and then the sphincter admits it to the stomach, okay? And the sphincter, everybody know what that is? It's just like a little flap that opens and closes, okay? All right, the amylase is produced by your salivary glands, breaks apart the starches into maltose. Now it continues in the stomach where there is hydrochloric acid, and then the liver sends in bile, and the bile assists in breaking down the fats and the proteins. It filters out all the grease that's in there. Okay? The enzymes rearrange and break down the food molecules, making it more useful for your body. And pepsin is one of them that breaks down your protein. They rearrange and break down your food, Pepsin is secreted in the stomach, and the protein continues to break down until it can be used by the body. As we get older, what happens to our enzymes? Yes, they start to decrease. Okay, and then we have lots of problems. A lot of old people have stomach problems or all kinds of issues. They don't get the nutrients within their bodies that are needed, so they have to take lots of vitamins in. Okay, so then it turns into chyme, and chyme is a mixture of food products, enzymes, and acid. This then continues into the small intestines, where there are more enzyme action. Trypsin is sent from the pancreas. So we all know the small intestine is broken into 3 sections, right?
Yes.
You guys all know this? What are they? Okay, jejunum,
That was
duodenum, and ileum. Okay? So most of the action here is done in the jejunum. Okay? The food has been reduced to the smallest particle that is possible, then absorbed in the bloodstream, whatever is needed. And everything else that's not needed is sent to the large intestines and excreted. Okay? And this total transit time takes anywhere from 24 hours to 3 weeks. And how do we know this? Because when you get food poisoning, what happens?
That's the word.
Yes. How many people have had food poisoning here? That's scary.
Like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it's brutal. How many get it from stuff they cook at home?
It's bad.
Is it because of cross-contamination or just bad food?
Yeah, cross-contamination.
Cross-contamination. Okay. Everybody else gets it somewhere else, huh?
The food's great because I eat it all.
You eat it all and then you get sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's not so great. All right. So, since 9/11, we've been trying to find new ways to protect our crops from terrorists sending out foreign insects and plant diseases or dropping all kinds of stuff on our food. And there is also an invasion of bugs, diseases, and chemicals that are used. How many of you eat more foods that are GMO? Genetically modified?
Everything is like.
Okay. How many of you eat, when you go to the store and you pick out your fruits and vegetables, do you look more for the organic type? That's not certain. Okay. Just so you know, the difference is genetically modified is full of chemicals, okay? Your organic foods generally don't have any of pesticides on them, no chemicals on them. They are straight from the farm as is, okay? And that's how our food used to be until this all happened back in the 80s when they decided, oh, we're going to spray all this stuff and we're going to modify these crops so that we can feed thousands more people. That was the idea. That did not happen quite like that. Yes? What foods are modified?
Corn.
Most foods. Corn is huge. Soy is huge.
Chicken.
Those are 2, big ones. And then your meats, because they're fed off of those fields, okay? So when you look at your foods, check to see if it's non-GMO or if it's organic. Then you're generally safer, okay? There are also high levels of carbon dioxide in your wheat, your rice, and your soy, which decreases the amount of the nutrients that you're getting. Here's a little tidbit of information on your rice. Who thinks brown rice is healthier than white rice? Okay, and what is your reason for thinking that?
Fiber.
Fiber, more fiber in brown rice? So everybody else thinks white rice is healthier?
They're the same.
Who thinks white rice is healthier?
Don't know.
Okay, neither? Okay, but of the 2, you have to pick. Okay, of the 2, you have to pick which one you think is healthier. Who thinks brown rice is healthier? Who thinks white rice is healthier? Okay, here's a little tidbit for you. Brown rice contains more arsenic than white rice. There's a little tidbit for you.
Arsenic.
So, arsenic is poison. That's what you kill rats with.
Oh wow.
Well, I'm not a rat,
Yes,
so.
it can cause all kinds of health issues too, okay? So,
White rice all day.
just another tidbit of information, random stuff that I have. I have all kinds of random information I'll share with you. Okay? All right. Yes, Lucille. fluids before, but the whole, the outer layer of the germ taken off, how is white rice better? How is white rice better for you? I'm not saying either way, that white or brown is better for you. I'm just saying brown rice has more arsenic. What does that mean? Arsenic is a poison that you kill rats with. I know, but what does it mean in context? It means that if you consume more brown rice, you're consuming more arsenic with it. That's all. Just a tidbit of information. Okay.
So even if you wash your rice, it will still have more arsenic.
In general, yeah. You can mix it, brown and white, or you can eat brown rice. It's not gonna. Well, I'm not gonna say it's not gonna kill you, but if you eat it every single day for every single meal, you eventually could potentially kill you. Just know that it contains more arsenic than white rice. Okay. All right, so here's what you want to relate to your patients. So you want to consider their lifestyle of the patient. If they're living a sedentary lifestyle, tell them to get up and move a little bit, okay? If they're eating a poor diet, as you'll find out when you do your nutrition counseling, you'll find out what kind of diet they have, and then you can modify it for them. Let them know that fast food is convenient, yes, but it's not always the best choice, and that you always want to make sure that you let them know that there are other options. They can always pack stuff up at home that's convenient, pack up vegetables, make their own stuff, and bring it with them wherever they're going or whatever they're doing. Food habits and cravings differ from patient to patient, and then you can suggest them to use My Plate. They can go on and check it themselves, or you can individualize a plan for them if they want that, okay? Any questions? No? Okay, so we're going to go back to our group presentations. And I'm going to give you guys a few minutes. I'll pull them back up again. For those of you that didn't see, that's my daughter. How old is she? She is almost 20. All right, here are the topics. I'm going to let you guys discuss amongst yourselves to figure out who you're going to be in a group with and what topic you want to do. Then we'll go around and make sure you have it 1, 2, and 3, just in case your first is taken or your second is taken. And then we'll go from there. Who set up the paper of the attendance that went around? Did everybody sign it that came in?
Yeah.
Let's do natural alternative. So do we just tell you what we want to do?
Well, I'm gonna give you guys. I'll give you guys about 5 minutes or so, 7 minutes to discuss it. Okay, and then we'll go through and determine what group is gonna do what. 5 minutes. In about 5 minutes, I'll ask you guys what you want, okay? You don't have to come and tell me. Guys, 3 days, you're letting you know now? Nope. Nope. Don't let me know now. Ready? Or nope. I'm gonna go in about 5 minutes, and I'm gonna pull a random person's name. Okay. I was like, I did that. Oh, no, like random person's name. From the 12 to 20. Where's it going more often? Your hub for the days. Why not? Yes. How are you? Oh no, the 13th. Right. 3 days of work. Where do we write our office? No, I'm going to talk to you guys in about 5 minutes. And I'll get your
Is there another
Oh, do we tell you more?
In about 5 minutes. Once everybody's got it all figured out.
I always say that this is my spot. And
And you just laugh. Wait, not go. I mean, wait, essential.
All right, do you guys pretty much have an idea of what you want to do, what your groups are? Everybody? Okay. All right, go ahead and have a seat.
pick a number 1 through 100. Yeah, whoever's closest will determine the order.
I'm just gonna randomly pick. I'm just gonna take this and go like this. All right. Here's one thing though. We have one person missing, and she's got to go into somebody's group. Sarah. Okay. I just wanted to make sure. Gotcha. All right. So here's how I'm going to do this. I'm just going to take this picture, paper, and pick it up. Catalina.
We know the favorite.
Which group?
Laura.
Which one?
Oh.
Or do you have your own?
We would like to do. What do you want to do?
They don't know next.
Okay. Remedies for whitening. Natural.
Natural remedy. How many
That's
people are in
different.
your
That's a
group?
different one.
5.
That's a different one. That's remedies for one and natural.
All right.
We want to do natural remedies for one.
Lucille.
She wanted to do acid and alkaline.
How many are in her group?
5.
Jessica Bolanos.
You're speaking girl. What was that?
5 for oil pulling.
What is that even?
Oh, oil.
Megan.
Vitamin deficiency, toothbrushing.
Oh, the one I was thinking.
Which one?
Vitamin deficiency and
Oh,
toothbrushing.
How many are in your group?
3.
Kevin.
John said natural.
Remedies for fluoride.
Whatever John said.
Natural alternatives to fluoride.
Fluoride?
Fluoride. Yes.
Natural remedies to fluoride.
Yes.
Yes, our group is 3, and we're going to do vegan, vegetarian diet versus omnivore diet in the Oil Academy.
3 you said? Dan. Yep.
Just week.
We're gonna do natural remedies for tooth and jaw pain. How many? 5. 4. 4? Yep. So we have 5, 10, 15, 24. We're getting there. Who's missing? All right, what do you guys want? Which one?
There's some people.
Nobody knows about that.
Yeah. This is that area.
How many are in your job?
Yeah. I can't do these with this. It's too tight, you know. Yeah.
How many? 4? All right, did we get everybody? Yeah. All right. Are there any questions about anything? I will post the rubric so that you guys have an idea. This is going to be probably the last 2 classes that we're going to do, well, except for your final. Which reminds me, I don't have a date for your final yet, so it's not in your syllabus. I just know it's the last week. Last year it was on a Tuesday. So I'll find out Wednesday what day it's going to be, and then I'll put it out.
Oh.
Yes?
How long, I know you're going to post it, but just out of curiosity, how long is the presentation?
How long?
Yeah.
It should be about 10 to 15 minutes. Yeah. So it could be 5 slides, it could be 30 slides, 10 to 15 minutes. Okay? Just depends how fast you go through it. All right. Any other questions? And make sure you use references. Okay? You'll see on the rubric what I expect, more or less. All right? So next week, no class. Okay? I'll be out of town. I won't be here, so don't come next week. Okay? Yes. But the next time I see you in 2 weeks from today, we'll have a quiz first thing at 8 o'clock. Okay?
Oh wait, quiz?
Quiz, roughly, probably 10 to 15 questions based off of just the lecture today. Okay? It's not going to have the syllabus stuff. It's only going to be based off of the lecture. Yeah. Yes. It is multiple choice. Okay?
Today's lecture or the next lecture?
No, today's.
Okay.
Yes, I'm not one of those.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so just study the stuff that you have already on Canvas. If ever there's any issues, because sometimes I think I publish it once I post it, sometimes I don't, let me know if you guys don't get the information, okay?
Okay.
All right, any other questions about anything? Okay?
Nothing next week.
Nothing next week. I'm not here. If you guys come, you're on your own.
Where are you going?
I'll be in Chicago.
Oh.
Chicago.
My niece is getting married.
Oh.
My daughter's there right now.
Huh? Oh
I took care of the whole week.
Yeah? The whole week you're in Israel? Wow.
Maybe you'll convert me.
What did you
Those are pretty cool.
Some people did
I
not.
did.
Okay.
I talked to Maria.
Yeah, that's fine. So we're
I
just
was
gonna
cleaning
meet
them.
our littles after
Oh, you
our
did?
last class today. If you didn't bring your gift, that's okay. Just bring it to them later this week. But stay to at least meet them so they don't feel left out. Yeah. After class, after our last class, we're gonna meet out on the lawn. We're gonna meet out on the lawn. We're gonna meet out on the lawn. Which lawn? Right in front of the building. Like where we did last.
Oh, okay.
You know, like the tables are.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Oh. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's all. Right? Okay. That's all.
I need water. Where's our next class at?
Yes. Whole body here.
You have to see this. Talk about partial music lessons.
Show the video.
Is that normal portion?
Oh my god.
That's what I was like.